Mike, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
We're speaking with actor Keanush Tafreshi. First and foremost, am I saying that correctly?
That's spot on. You nailed it.
I've been seriously practicing all morning because there's no way to tank an interview like before it even starts, like getting the person's name wrong. I was so
No, you got it.
Right,
you
good.
Nailed it.
All right, excellent. And you are making a splash in the second season of the show The Agency, which you can see on Paramount Plus, and you play Haman Zamani. Now, I'm going to be quite honest with you. The only other time I've seen your work is in Weird, the Al Yankovic story as Kip.
Yep.
Very far.
Very, very different world.
Yes, very far from Haman Zamani in The Agency. I believe they call that range.
You know, I'm glad they see me that way, and they could put me in a comedy and then a spy thriller back to back like that.
Yeah, and so this character, this show is great, and like all good espionage thrillers, whether they're movies or TV shows, there's layers constantly being peeled back. There's constant reveals going on, and like this character Hassan, he's a young man. He's like a rich kid. His father is a prominent person in the Iranian nuclear program, but he's at the same time he doesn't think exactly like his dad. I don't want to give away too much, and that has a lot to kind of do with it, I guess. How long did it take you to kind of nail down this character? Because there's a lot of different layers going on. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you're spot on about the layers. I think, for me, I felt like I had a lot of time to really develop a character, and that's the best gift you can have as an actor is that time and the luxury to discover and do your research and pull back the layers and just build them out from the inside out. Yeah, I mean, for me, I got to focus on building out the movement of this guy, physicality and building, even more muscle mass. I put a massive effort into my training and building out the voice and reconnecting with my Iranian culture and language, the Farsi. It was a whole process, but I think for me, the time, over the course of 4 months of filming, things were just coming in naturally. So you're Iranian, your character's Iranian. Did you, when they first approached you, did you want to make sure, I don't want this to be a stereotypical Middle Eastern character that you often see who's just a terrorist? There's kind of a one-dimensional thing like that. And you sharing a heritage with your character, was that something you were looking for? Would you have said no if it was just that one-dimensional character? No, absolutely. I think, the writers of the show were brilliant in sort of, figuring out the world and the dialogue of this guy. And I knew I wanted it to be authentic, and I didn't want it to be stereotypical. So I spent a lot of time, even just connecting with my parents and speaking with them Farsi. Yeah. I was like, let's just speak Farsi from now on while I'm working on this character, just so that is in me, and I can tap into it. But yeah, I think, viewers, they'll see this and it'll be very different to what they've seen in terms of that kind of representation on TV. So I was definitely drawn to the authenticity of it and making sure this character was real and having an experience rather than, a stereotype of a Middle Eastern character.
Yeah. Did your parents express any concerns, if you don't mind me asking, that they say, Keanush, try to represent where we're from, a little broader?
Yeah, no, I mean, they for sure trusted me, and I made it very important to myself and my work that I wanted to, use that opportunity to really highlight and showcase some of the, beautiful things about our culture. Even though, I won't say too much about the role. Like at the beginning of the show, let's just say most audiences are not going to be a fan of Hassan, but right. My goal was to kind of build an arc around this character so that people could find a way to relate to him and understand him in his circumstances by the end.
I was reading another way you kind of refresh yourself with Farsi is watching Iranian Love Island, which I had no idea existed. I am fascinated.
I know, I really didn't either.
It seems like a show that they wouldn't be too happy with in Iran, or is that wrong to say?
No, I think they film it out. They definitely film it outside of Iran. I think they might film it in Turkey.
Okay,
but I'm not 100% certain on that. But yeah, I mean, I was on Instagram one day, and all of a sudden, my algorithm started feeding me Iranian Love Island. I don't know if it's because I was focusing on more Iranian content, and I found this world, and there was a lot of very explosive but passionate, intense guys, and I was able to sort of just observe them and steal little bits and pieces from them for my work, to kind of pull inspiration for this guy.
It's we shouldn't I guess educate ourselves on a culture simply by watching television. I wouldn't want someone to look at the United States and judge it by, say, The Bachelor. You know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely. And you can't, I mean, that's the thing, too, is you won't know a culture until you fully immerse yourself in it. The Iranian people are just amazing, loving, passionate, hospitable people. So
yeah,
you gotta immerse yourself around those communities to really, understand. Eat their food, try some Persian food.
Yes.
Go to your local Persian restaurant, and then you'll learn a little bit more about Persians and who they are.
Yes, the Anthony Bourdain method, right?
That's right.
You go there and you go to the place where everybody else is eating, not the tourists, and that way you get to know people. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I can say for certain one thing people can agree on is good kebab. I will say that.
Yes, I agree with you. Absolutely, sir. And then you work with some real rookies in this show, like like Jeffrey Wright and Richard Gere and Michael Fassbender,
Definitely.
Of course. But I mean, don't
know how they got employed. It doesn't make sense to me.
I know. It's nice of you to give them a chance.
That's right.
That is a wealth of acting experience. Not just acting, but being in the business and stuff. Was there a lesson? One of those guys? Did you get to work with them enough where maybe one of them taught you something or handed down a lesson to you that you feel that you're going to be able to use for the rest of your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I didn't have any days of work with Richard Gere or Jeffrey Wright, but I do have a scene with Michael, and he just being around him and just seeing how he works and his level of precision and care and crafts is just awe-inspiring. I mean, and also not to mention he's just such an amazing, friendly guy. You'd think being around him he'd be very intense and intimidating, which when you first meet him and you're around him, like you get that feeling. But he's just so friendly and so warm and so supportive and such a pleasure to work with. Like just to be there, present, nice to everybody on set, be professional. Doesn't matter if you're the number one on the call sheet. You just treat everybody with respect and invite them, because that is where true collaboration and freedom to play and just create something amazing happens. So I definitely learned just to be professional, show up, do your job, be excellent, be unassailable, and also just be kind.
That's awesome. Keanush Tafreshi, thank you for taking the time. Watch him work in The Agency, season 2 of The Agency, Paramount Plus. So what are you doing now? Where do you go from here?
Yeah, from now, I mean, just, people are watching the show, and that's gaining a lot of buzz and excitement. And I'm still, staying humble and staying true to what I do and just showing up for every audition I get and every opportunity that comes my way. So we'll see what comes next. I'm excited.
What is something you would like to do? Like what is a movie, TV, stage play? What is something you'd love to work on?
Sure. I mean, into this world of espionage, and especially a show like The Agency, it's such an international show where you're exposed to different countries and worlds and cultures. I would definitely love to stay in that realm of genre. Something like The White Lotus is definitely high on my list. If they go White Lotus Middle East, I will be ready for that opportunity. So yeah, definitely. That's been an itch for me. But I mean, I'd also love to go do a feature film and maybe even dive into the indie world a little bit more. So open to whatever comes.
Well, hopefully maybe the people from Iranian Love Island will be calling you. I mean,
that's right. That would be crazy.
Well, hey, thank you very much for your time. See Keanush Tafreshi in season 2 of The Agency. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.